And as we are learning about the GCD now, for instance, what if when you're given like three numbers, let's say they ask you, what's the GCD of 30, 45, and 60? They are basically asking you the greatest common divider of all these three numbers. Now, how do you find the GCD of these figures here? As we learned in our prior grades, you come up with a table, okay, whereby you write 30, 45, and 60. Now, the least common divider here for both those numbers, what will it be? It's 3, okay? Because 3 will divide 30 how many times? 15. 3 divided by 45 will get 15. 3 divided by 30, sorry, is 10. And 3 divided by 60 is 20, okay? Now, which number will divide all these numbers completely to make it an integer? Which is the next number, guys? 10, 15, and 20. The next number is 5, okay? Because 5 goes into 10 how many times? 2 times. 5 goes into 15 how many times? 3 times. And 5 goes into 20 4 times, okay? So basically, in GCD, we are looking at the greatest common divide, okay? So when we read this step, the next number that can divide all these numbers completely is basically 1, okay? Because 1 will divide 2 times, 3, and this 4 times, okay? So we will be basically stuck with 1 or 2 because we must get a number that divides these numbers completely to make it an all numbers. So we'll come here and multiply these dividers. It will be 3 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 1 to make it 15. So the GCD, the greatest common divider of 30, 45, and 60 is basically what? 15. And that's our answer, okay? And when you come here, you can prove 15 divided by 30, what will it get us to? 2, okay? 15 divided by 45, what will it get us to? 3, okay? And 15 divided by 60, it will get us to 4, okay? So when you ask the GCD for these numbers, it's basically 15. 15 is our greatest common divider. It can't go up higher than that to get an whole number, okay? So this is what you basically mean by GCD. The next step is the LCM. Okay, class, what do you mean by LCM? As we define it, LCM is the least common multiple, okay? The least common multiple of given numbers. So when you're given 6 and 12, and you ask, what's the LCM of 6 and 12? They are basically asking you the least number that can divide these two figures here into complete numbers, okay? So how do we find it? We'll just come here and write the table 6 and 12, and we'll start by 2. 2 divides 6 how many times? 3 times. It goes into 12 how many times? 6 times, okay? The next number here is 2 again, okay? 2 goes here, 3, and 2 goes here how many times? 3 times. The next number here is 3. So 3 goes here 1 times, and 3 goes here 1 times, okay? So we multiply these multiples. This will be 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3. What will get us? 12, okay? So the LCM of 6 and 12, by that we mean the least common multiple of 6 and 12 is basically 12, okay? And how can we know about that? 12 divided by 12, it will give you 1. And 12 divided by 6, it will give you 2. So the least common, get it by that, okay? So it can be 24, because 24 can be divided by both numbers, okay? Basically. So we can have even 12. These are the least common multiples, 24. Which other number? 36. Which number here is the least one? The least common multiples here for this 6 and 12 is basically 12, okay? This is the least number that can be used to divide these numbers to get an all number. That's what we mean by LCM. Thank you so much. And as we progress on other topics in mathematics, you'll find out that what we'll use mostly in the calculations will be the LCM, okay? To find values of numbers, to change numbers into proper fraction, to change fraction into proper fraction or improper fractions. We'll usually use the LCM, even in addition, subtraction, division of fractions. We'll basically use mostly the LCM. So we must be conversant with how to get the LCM of given figures at any specific time as we progress.